Alright, hi, Andeath back. Let's see if I can actually enunciate this time. So, in this one I am drawing Ninja Cat Girl. Why? I don't actually know. Samurai Cat Girl? I don't know, she's got a... Good question, don't know. Ask me tomorrow. So, anyway, what I do, I start with a base sketch. Just go through, come up, blot out my ideas, figure out what goes where, what is what, and, you know, you move on. Katana, that, get the basic anatomy in. Once I get that in, then I start, I recently had started using the pen tool. Well, not pen tool. The vector layers, which is nice because if you want to make it big, you can make it big. If you want to make it small, you can make it small. It doesn't pixelate or alias. I can't say that fucking word. But essentially, vector's mathematics, so it can adjust formulaically. Raster is pixels, so you go too big, higher than the resolution it was originally at. And suddenly, like, you fucked everything up, and if you make it smaller, it's like trying to find where to put pixels, and you can get lost pixels, and just kind of goes to bloop. Yeah, so, did that. Takes me a few tries to figure out, like, what I want for the nose and the eyes, you'll see. So yeah, I just continued to go along, and I start adding parts. Lining, I don't know why I did that weird thing on the claw, but yeah, and keep lining. It's just part just kind of takes a while, but I kind of adopted the idea of like my line art layer is also my drawing layer. Like I get my rough sketch for like shape and form, or if I have like a reference or something, you know, you do the gesture drawing in like rough forms. But I kind of draw as I line because I feel like tracing or lining or standard inking with me personally turns out really dead, like flat, and like all the energy of my sketch is just completely gone. So I kind of like this way, it keeps the energy still in it. But that's my personal preference. People who are actually like good professional liners, they're much better at it than me. So right here, what I'm doing is I'm selecting everything outside of my drawing. And I call this gray blocking. I don't know what else term it is. But basically, I block in the character with gray. Or whatever color. And it lets me know where they are. I do this also if I'm doing like a multiple layer thing of like multiple characters. This separates them from each other and you're not seeing the line art through the line art. It's really useful for that, like multiple layers, backgrounds. You turn them like different shades of gray to vary them. I also like it because at the very end I can turn it to black and it hides all my fuck ups. So as you see here, I just basically start toning as I'll lay down the flats. Sometimes I'll lay down all the flats before I start toning. Sometimes I'll tone while flatting. It's just kind of a thing. Sometimes it's faster one way, sometimes faster the other. Sometimes I feel like when I tone as I flat, it gets it done faster if I need to get something done. Or if it really just comes down to mood. But yeah, and then like with toning, I do like the underlighting, the shadows, and the highlighting, and then obviously there's the base layer. So, you know, just kind of this is where I lay down what makes the character pop. I'll be honest with this, I went with what looked alright and good, but lighting wise, nothing on her actually makes sense. There's a value to lighting, and it can add a huge amount of weight to something, like this shark monster. So a shark ogre that I made for my D&D campaign, Godless, I added so much more weight to him because of the way that like I handled his coloring and his shading and his stat. So lighting and shading and where you're putting your shadows, very important. I was just a lazy asshole on this one because I kind of went like, it looks good versus it looks right. So now we're here entering the area where I like start experimenting with did I want this, blah blah, switch to shadows. So like now I'm trying with red. Turns out I like the gray white better, so I go back to that because I don't want her hair actually blending too much in with her rest of her garb. But yeah, I like gradients in hair. I don't know why, I just do. It's just something I do. I like the two tones. It's just a personal thing. Do whatever you want. This isn't a tutorial. This is just how I do things. So yeah, just keep going. Adding in more toning, more fine detail, finishing up the claws, adding highlights to sword and stuff. And, you know, nothing super fancy, just straightforward. I didn't really have like a thing I was setting out to draw in the beginning. I just drew a sketch and went over it. That's kind of how I operate sometimes. Sometimes I have like a thing I want. Like I'll have a loose concept, but things end up evolving by the end of it. So here I'm adding in like some backlighting or something. Again, not super accurate. If I was taking my time and being more accurate with it, I'd, have the background drawn first and like know where the light is coming from the background, but I started with the character because I didn't know what I wanted. I just kind of ran with it. But ultimately, you would want to know what your light source and where it's coming from. I just kind of want like a cool gold thing. And then here is me going, do I want like the stylized like shadow background? And it turns out the answer is no. So, like, explosions are interesting. Like, the explosion thing is because, like, you're just kind of throwing down these blotches, throwing down the different tone, and, like, the way that I kind of learned it is then you take your, like, fiery effects and you launch them in the direction of the energy. And then later on, we'll just radio blur this and Gaussian blur this, and we'll turn on, like, add glow, and we'll throw it over an overlay. No, wait, we'll throw it over a multiply layer, and then it'll go over a gradient that is, like, the color of the sunset because that adds like poofs the black through the bottom of the smoke explosion shit, and the red glow works well with the explosion. It's the red ketchup crap that's coming out right now. I find out that doesn't work very well, so I remove it. So yeah, going through, adding like this gradient to kind of like give her the warmth color, because I want the warmth. I want her to feel like she's there, but I don't want her to be blended into it, which is why later on I decide to add like her red shadow back, but just has a little bit of a glimpse to stick out. Here I'm just kind of like trying to like bring something that brings your eye in, and like kind of like, and she sheaths the sword. Yeah, weird sound effect, but that's kind of it. And I experiment with this for a bit. It takes a little bit to figure it out, but it's kind of like pointless experimentation. Well, not pointless. I choose it in the end. And I stick with one of them, but yeah, that one you just saw. And then, like, you know, just figuring out the last bits of, yeah, I like this rich color. And then, the important part, sign your damn work. And that is, Andeath draws Ninja Samurai Cat Girl thing from his campaign setting. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, leave us a comment. Let us know if you want more of these videos, more of Andeath talk along. Anyway, catch you next time.